The Wheel. Welcome, dear listener, and welcome to the first chapter of our soothing journey through the greatest inventions of humanity. Tonight, as you nestle into the comfort of your bed and let the day's worries drift away like leaves on a gentle breeze, we invite you to imagine yourself standing at the dawn of civilization. Picture a world where the simplest tools shaped the future and human ingenuity was just beginning to bloom. This is the world where our story begins, a world on the cusp of a revolution that would roll through the ages. So take a deep breath, close your eyes, and let the tail of the wheel carry you gently into the realm of dreams. Imagine a time long before roads stretched across the land, before carts rattled through villages, before the hum of engines filled the air, a time when humanity's greatest challenge was simply moving from one place to another. It's a quiet evening, thousands of years ago, and you're standing on the dusty plains of ancient Mesopotamia around 3500 BCE. The sun dips low, casting golden light over the fertile lands between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Here, in this cradle of civilization, the first whispers of a revolutionary idea are beginning to take shape. This, dear listener, is where the wheel is born. The wheel, in its earliest days, isn't the polished circle you might picture today. It's rough, heavy, a solid disc carved from wood, fastened to a cart with a simple, sturdy axle. It's not much to look at, but oh, what power it holds. The Sumerians, a clever people known for their inventions, are the first to see its potential. They load their carts with grain, with clay pots, with tools, and suddenly the impossible becomes possible. Heavy burdens roll across the earth with ease. Cities rise faster as materials move from place to place. Even battles shift as warriors ride into conflict on wheeled platforms. The wheel, in its quiet simplicity, becomes a symbol of progress, a spark of human brilliance that lights the way forward. But how did this marvel come to be? Let's drift back a little further to a moment of curiosity. Perhaps it begins with a Sumerian craftsman watching a log roll down a hill, noticing how it moves effortlessly over the ground. Or maybe it's a potter spinning clay on a flat disc who wonders if that motion could carry something greater. No one knows the exact spark, and that's part of the magic, isn't it? The wheel feels like a gift from the ages, a whisper of inspiration that grows louder with every turn. Soon, it spreads beyond Mesopotamia, rolling across the ancient world like a river finding its path. It reaches the Indus Valley, where traders pile goods onto wheeled carts. It finds Egypt, where pharaohs dream of grand monuments built with its help. Each culture takes the wheel and makes it their own, shaping it to fit their lives. As time flows on, the wheel begins to change. Those heavy wooden discs, they're clever, but they're slow. Imagine now the sound of chisels and hammers as artisans craft something new. Spoked wheels, lighter, faster, stronger. These wheels transform the world again. Chariots thunder across battlefields, their spokes flashing in the sun. Carriages glide through growing towns, carrying people and stories from one place to the next. In ancient China, someone dreams up the wheelbarrow, a single wheel to lighten the load of farmers and builders. And then, by a river's edge, a water wheel dips into the current, turning steadily to grind grain or shape metal. The wheel isn't just for moving anymore, it's a force of creation, a partner in humanity's endless dance of discovery. Let's journey forward now, through centuries of dust and dreams, to a world that feels a little closer to our own. The Industrial Revolution dawns, and the wheel takes on new life. Steam engines huff and puff, their massive wheels churning along tracks that stretch across continents. The world shrinks as locomotives pull people and goods faster than ever before. Then comes the automobile, sleek, roaring, its rubber tires gripping the earth. It's a symbol of freedom, of possibility, rolling down roads that connect us all. Picture yourself now, dear listener, in a quiet moment, maybe riding a bicycle down a peaceful path, or gazing out an airplane window as its wheels lift you into the sky. The wheel is everywhere, in the gears of your watch, in the turbines that light your home. It's a quiet hum beneath our modern lives, always turning, always there. But let's pause for a moment as the night deepens around you to think of the wheel's softer gifts. Imagine a spinning wheel in a humble home, its gentle rhythm weaving thread into cloth, cloth that warms families, that tells stories in every stitch. Or picture a Ferris wheel at a fair, rising slowly into the night sky, offering a moment of wonder as the world falls away below. The wheel isn't just strength and speed, it's joy, it's connection, it's the heartbeat of countless small miracles. As you sink deeper into your pillow, let your mind wander through time with the wheel. See it rolling through Mesopotamia's dusty plains, through Egypt's golden sands, through the smoky factories of the industrial age, and into the bright, bustling world of today. Its shape has changed, solid wood to spoked iron to rubber and steel, but its spirit stays the same. A circle, endless and unbroken, carrying us forward with every turn. It's a reminder that even the simplest ideas can ripple through history, shaping everything they touch. The printing press, the machine that unlocked the world. Imagine, if you will, a world where books are as rare as precious gems, where knowledge is locked away in the minds of a select few, and the written word is a treasure guarded by the elite. This is Europe in the 15th century, a time when the light of learning flickers dimly in the shadows of monasteries and royal courts. But in the quiet city of Mainz, Germany, a humble goldsmith named Johannes Gutenberg is about to change everything. With a vision as bold as the dawn, he dreams of a machine that can multiply words like seeds scattered on fertile soil. This is the story of the printing press, a marvel of ingenuity that would unlock the door to knowledge and set the world on a path to enlightenment. How did this simple machine reshape history? And what secrets did it whisper to the winds of change? A world hungry for words. Let us drift back to the 1440s, where the air smells of ink and possibility. In Mainz, the streets hum with the quiet rhythm of daily life. Merchants barter, children play, and craftsmen bend over their workbenches. Among them is Gutenberg, a man whose hands are skilled in shaping metal, but whose mind is restless, always seeking. He has heard tales of distant lands where knowledge flows freely, where ideas are shared like bread at a feast. But in Europe, books are painstakingly copied by hand, each one a labor of months or years. Only the wealthy or the clergy can afford them, and the common folk are left in the dark, their minds starved for the light of learning. Gutenberg dreams of a better way. He imagines a machine that can press words onto paper, over and over, like a seal stamping its mark. But it is not just the press that he must invent, it is the very letters themselves. In his workshop, he experiments with metal alloys, crafting tiny, movable type that can be arranged and rearranged to form any word, any sentence. Each letter is a small miracle, cast with precision, ready to be inked and pressed. But the road is not easy. Gutenberg faces setbacks, debts, and doubts. His patrons grow impatient, his resources dwindle, yet he presses on, driven by a vision only he can see. What keeps him going through the long nights and endless trials? The birth of a revolution. Finally, in 1455, the moment arrives. Gutenberg's printing press stands ready, its wooden frame sturdy, its metal type gleaming. The first book to emerge from this marvel is the Bible, a fitting choice, for it is a book that has shaped the soul of Europe. The Gutenberg Bible, with its crisp, black letters and elegant pages, is a work of art, yet it is also a harbinger of change. For the first time, a book can be produced not one at a time, but in hundreds, each copy as perfect as the last. The world holds its breath as the presses turn, and the scent of fresh ink fills the air. But the true magic of the printing press lies not in its machinery, but in its power to spread ideas. Like a river breaking free from its banks, knowledge begins to flow. Books, once rare and precious, become accessible to more people. Scholars, merchants, and even farmers can now hold the wisdom of the ages in their hands. The printing press becomes a bridge, connecting minds across cities, countries, and continents. It is the spark that ignites the Renaissance, a rebirth of art, science, and thought. Painters like Leonardo da Vinci sketch inventions, writers like Erasmus pen essays, and explorers like Columbus dream of new worlds, all fueled by the words that now fly from the presses, a machine that changed the world. The printing press does not stop at the Renaissance. It rolls forward, gathering speed. In the 16th century, it becomes a weapon of reform. Martin Luther, a monk with a fiery spirit, uses it to spread his 95 Theses, challenging the very foundations of the Church. His words, printed and passed from hand to hand, ignite the Protestant Reformation, a movement that reshapes faith and politics across Europe. The press becomes a voice for the voiceless, a tool for those who dare to question. But with this power comes danger. Ideas can topple kings, spark wars, and change the course of history. What happens when the world learns to read between the lines? As the centuries turn, the printing press evolves. It grows faster, more efficient, its reach ever wider. Newspapers spring up, carrying news from distant lands. Pamphlets flutter through the streets, rallying cries for revolution. In the 18th century, the Enlightenment dawns, and the press becomes a beacon of reason, spreading the ideas of philosophers like Voltaire and Rousseau. Knowledge, once hoarded, is now shared, debated, and celebrated. The world is awakening, and the printing press is its morning song. Let us pause for a moment, dear listener, to imagine the quiet hum of a printing press in a small shop. The rhythmic clank of metal, the soft rustle of paper, the faint scent of ink. It is a lullaby of progress, a sound that has echoed through time. From Gutenberg's workshop to the bustling newsrooms of today, the press has been a faithful companion, carrying humanity's hopes, dreams, and discoveries across the ages. A legacy written in ink. Today, the printing press may seem like a relic of the past, overshadowed by the glow of screens and the click of keyboards, but its legacy is woven into the fabric of our lives. Every book on your shelf, every newspaper on your table, every word you read carries a whisper of Gutenberg's dream. The press taught the world to read, to think, to question, and in doing so, it changed us forever. As you drift closer to sleep, let your mind wander through the pages of history. See the first books rolling off the press, their words like seeds planted in fertile soil. Picture the scholars, the rebels, the dreamers, all touched by the magic of print. The printing press was not just a machine, it was a key that unlocked the door to the modern world, a bridge that carried us from darkness into light. But the story does not end here. What new wonders will emerge from the seeds Gutenberg planted? What other inventions will shape the chapters yet to come? Rest now and let the whispers of the past guide you into dreams of the future. The steam engine, the machine that moved the world. Imagine, if you will, a world where the rhythm of life is dictated by the rising and setting of the sun. A world where the strength of human and animal muscle powers the wheels of industry and transportation. This was the world before the steam engine, a time when progress moved at a snail's pace, and the limits of human endeavor were bound by the constraints of physical labor. But in the quiet corners of workshops and the minds of dreamers, a new force was stirring, a force that would shatter the shackles of the past and propel humanity into a bold new era. This is the story of the steam engine, a marvel of ingenuity that harnessed the power of steam to drive machinery, transform industries, and connect the world in ways once thought impossible. How did this humble machine come to change the course of history? And what secrets did it whisper to the winds of progress? A world hungry for power. Let us drift back to the late 17th century, where the air smells of coal and possibility. In the mining towns of England, workers toil deep underground, their muscles straining against the weight of the earth. Water seeps into the mines, flooding the tunnels and threatening to drown the precious coal within. The pumps, powered by horses or men, are slow and inefficient, their creaking rhythms a constant reminder of the limits of human strength. But in this world of sweat and shadow, a new idea is taking shape, a machine that can harness the power of steam to lift the water from the depths. It is here in 1712 that Thomas Newcomen, an English inventor, unveils his creation, the atmospheric steam engine. Picture it, a hulking beast of iron and wood, its pistons hissing and clanking as steam fills its chambers. It is not elegant, but it is effective. Newcomen's engine uses the power of steam to create a vacuum, pulling water from the mines with a force no horse could match. It is a breakthrough, a glimpse of a future where machines could do the work of many men. But Newcomen's engine is just the beginning, a rough sketch of the masterpiece to come. What would it take to refine this raw power into something truly revolutionary? The genius of James Watt. In the 1760s, a Scottish inventor named James Watt steps onto the stage. Watt is a man of quiet brilliance, his mind a workshop of ideas. While repairing a model of Newcomen's engine, he sees its flaws, its hunger for coal, its wasteful use of steam. He dreams of something better, something that can harness steam's full potential. In his workshop, surrounded by the soft glow of lanterns, Watt labors through the night, his hands shaping metal, his mind bending the laws of physics. Watt's breakthrough comes with the invention of the separate condenser, a simple yet ingenious addition that cools the steam outside the main cylinder, reducing energy loss and making the engine far more efficient. Suddenly, The steam engine is no longer a clunky tool for mines. It is a versatile machine, ready to power factories, mills, and workshops. Watt's engine is a symphony of motion, its pistons moving with a grace that belies their strength. It is the spark that ignites the Industrial Revolution, a fire that will spread across the world, reshaping everything in its path. But what would this newfound power bring to the world of transportation? The age of steam on rails and waves. The steam engine's impact on transportation is nothing short of revolutionary. In 1804, Richard Trevithick, an English engineer, builds the first steam powered locomotive, its iron wheels gripping the rails as it chugs along. It is a humble beginning, but it marks the dawn of the railway age. Soon, locomotives like Stephenson's rocket thunder across the countryside, their whistles piercing the air, their smokestacks trailing plumes of white. The world shrinks as trains crisscross continents, connecting cities and towns like never before. People and goods move faster than ever, and the once distant horizon draws closer with every puff of steam. But the steam engine's reach extends beyond the land. In 1707, Robert Fulton, an American inventor, launches the Clermont, the first commercially successful steamboat. Picture it gliding along the Hudson River, its paddle wheels churning the water, its boiler humming with life. Steam-powered ships soon cross oceans, their iron hulls slicing through waves that once seemed unconquerable. The world becomes smaller, more connected, a web of trade and travel spun by the power of steam. But with this connection comes change, both wondrous and challenging. What would this new era mean for the world of work? The factory's heartbeat. In the realm of manufacturing, the steam engine is a catalyst for the Industrial Revolution. Factories, once reliant on water wheels or human hands, now pulse with the steady rhythm of steam-powered machines. The textile industry, in particular, is transformed. Imagine a vast hall filled with looms and spinning jennies, their gears turning in perfect harmony, driven by the unseen force of steam. Fabrics that once took weeks to produce now roll off the machines in hours, their threads weaving a new chapter in human history. But this progress comes at a cost. The factories are hungry beasts, demanding fuel and labor to feed their endless appetite. Workers, drawn from the countryside, flock to cities in search of jobs, their lives reshaped by the clang of machinery. The air grows thick with smoke, the rivers darken with waste, and the gap between rich and poor widens. The steam engine is a double-edged sword, a force for progress and disruption, creation and destruction. How would society adapt to this brave new world? The legacy of steam. The steam engine's influence extends far beyond its time. It paves the way for the internal combustion engine, the electric motor, and the technologies that power our modern world. It lays the foundations for the industrial age, a time of innovation, growth, and change. But it also teaches us that the delicate balance between progress and responsibility, reminding us that every invention carries both promise and peril. Today, the steam engine may seem like a relic, its hiss and clank replaced by the hum of electricity and the glow of screens. Yet its legacy lives on in every train that speeds along the tracks, every ship that crosses the sea, every factory that hums with life. It is a testament to human ingenuity, a reminder that even the smallest spark can ignite a revolution. As you drift closer to sleep, let your mind wander through the annals of history, to a time when the hiss of steam and the clank of machinery heralded a new era. The steam engine was a marvel of human creativity, a machine that moved the world and reshaped the future. Its echoes can still be heard in the hum of modern technology, a quiet reminder of the wonders that human hands can achieve. The telephone, the voice that connected the world. Imagine a time when the only way to speak to someone far away was to send a letter carried by horse or ship, taking days, weeks, or even months to arrive. A time when the sound of a loved one's voice was a rare treasure, heard only when distance allowed. This was the world before the telephone, a world of silence between the spaces. But in the quiet laboratories of inventors and the minds of dreamers, a new idea was stirring, a way to send the human voice across wires, bridging the gaps that separated hearts and minds. This is the story of the telephone, a marvel of ingenuity that would shrink the world and bring us closer than ever before. How did this simple device come to change the course of history? And what secrets did it whisper across the miles? A world hungry for connection. Let us drift back to the mid 19th century, where the air smells of progress and possibility. In the bustling cities of America and Europe, the Industrial Revolution is in full swing, and the world is awakening to the power of technology. Steam engines chug, factories hum, and telegraphs click out messages in Morse code, their dots and dashes racing along wires. But the telegraph, for all its speed, is cold and impersonal. It can send words, but not the warmth of a voice, not the laughter or the tears that make us human. There is a longing for something more, a way to hear the people we love, no matter how far away. In this world of wires and whispers, two men are racing toward a breakthrough. One is Alexander Graham Bell, a Scottish born inventor with a passion for sound and a heart for teaching the deaf. The other is Elisha Gray, an American engineer with a keen mind for mechanics. Both are chasing the same dream, to send the human voice through a wire. But it is Bell who will cross the finish line first, though by the narrowest of margins. What drove these men to pursue such a bold vision? And how did their rivalry shape the future of communication, the birth of a marvel? In 1876, in a small workshop in Boston, Alexander Graham Bell stands hunched over a tangle of wires and metal. His hands are steady, but his heart races with anticipation. For years, he has been experimenting with sound, trying to capture its essence and send it across space. His breakthrough comes with the invention of the liquid transmitter, a device that can convert sound waves into electrical signals. On March 10th, 1876, Bell speaks the first words ever transmitted by telephone. "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you." His assistant, Thomas Watson, hears the message through the receiver in the next room and rushes in, his eyes wide with wonder. It is a moment of magic, a spark that will light the world. But the road to this moment was not without its twists. Just at hours before Bell filed his patent, Elisha Gray submitted his own design for a telephone. The race was so close that some whispered of stolen ideas and secret deals. Yet history would remember Bell as the father of the telephone, his name etched into the annals of invention. The telephone's birth was not just a triumph of technology, it was a testament to human persistence and the power of a single voice to change the world. But what would this newfound connection mean for the people who used it? a world transformed by sound. The telephone's impact was immediate and profound. In homes and businesses, the familiar ring of the telephone became a call to connection. Imagine the joy of a mother hearing her child's voice from across the country, or the relief of a doctor consulting a colleague in a distant city. The telephone became a lifeline, a thread that wove through the fabric of society, binding it tighter. It was not just a tool, it was a bridge, a way to reach out and touch the hearts of those we love. As the decades passed, the telephone evolved. The first devices were bulky, their sound crackling and faint, but they were marvels nonetheless. Operators connected calls by hand, their voices a friendly presence on the line. Then came automatic exchanges, dial tones, and the sleek, modern phones we know today. But with each advancement, the telephone's essence remained the same, a way to bring voices together, no matter the distance. It was a reminder that in a world growing ever larger, we could still find each other with a simple call. The telephone also became a symbol of progress and possibility. In the early 20th century, it was a luxury, a status symbol for the wealthy. But as technology advanced and costs fell, it became a staple in homes around the world. The telephone booth, with its glass walls and coin slots, became a beacon for travelers and lovers alike, a place where secrets were shared and dreams were spoken aloud. What stories were whispered into those receivers? What hopes and fears traveled through the wires? A legacy of connection. The telephone's influence extends far beyond its time. It paved the way for the smartphones and video calls that now fill our lives, but its legacy is more than just technology. It taught the world the value of connection, the power of a voice to comfort, to inspire, to heal. It reminded us that no matter how far apart we are never truly alone. As you drift closer to sleep, let your mind wander through the history of the telephone. Imagine the first voices crackling through the wires, the joy of hearing a loved one's laugh, the comfort of a familiar hello. The telephone was not just an invention, it was a gift, a way to bring the world closer, one call at a time. But the story does not end here. What new wonders will emerge from the seeds Bell planted? What other inventions will shape the chapters yet to come? Rest now and let the whispers of the past guide you into dreams of the future. The light bulb, the spark that lit the world. Picture, if you will, a world draped in shadows, a world where the setting sun marks the end of the day's work, and the flicker of candles or the hiss of gas lamps are the only shields against the encroaching dark. This was the world of the 19th century, a time when light was a precious commodity, fragile and fleeting. But in the quiet corners of workshops and the minds of dreamers, a new vision was flickering to life, a way to banish the darkness with a simple flip of a switch. This is the story of the light bulb, a marvel of ingenuity that would illuminate homes, streets, and hearts, transforming the night into a canvas of endless possibility. How did this humble invention come to change the course of history? And what secrets did it whisper to the world it brightened? A world cloaked in darkness. Let us drift back to the early 1800s, where the air smells of paraffin and possibility. In homes across Europe and America, families gather around the dim glow of candles or the unsteady flame of oil lamps. The light is soft but fleeting. Candles burn down, oil runs low, and the night creeps in, wrapping the world in its quiet embrace. Gas lamps, newly installed in city streets, offer its brighter glow but come with their own dangers: fires, fumes, and the ever present risk of explosion. The world is hungry for a better way, a safer light that can stretch the day into the night. In this world of flickering flames, inventors are already chasing the dream of electric light. As early as 1802, the English scientist Humphrey Davy demonstrates the power of electricity by creating an arc lamp, a brilliant flash of light between two carbon rods. It is dazzling but impractical, too bright for homes and too costly for widespread use. Yet Davy's spark ignites a flame of curiosity. Could electricity be tamed to bring light into everyday life? And who would be the one to unlock its secrets? The persistence of Edison. In the 1870s, a young inventor named Thomas Edison steps onto the stage. Edison is a man of boundless energy and relentless curiosity, his mind a whirlwind of ideas. He has already made a name for himself with inventions like the phonograph, but his greatest challenge lies ahead. Edison dreams of creating a practical, long-lasting light bulb, one that can bring safe, steady light to homes and businesses. But the path is not easy. The key lies in finding the right material for the filament, the tiny wire inside the bulb that glows when electricity passes through it. Edison and his team test thousands of materials: cotton threads, bamboo fibers, even human hair, searching for one that can burn for hours without breaking. The work is grueling, the failures endless. But Edison, with his famous tenacity, sees each setback as a step forward. "I have not failed," he once said. "I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." And so, he presses on, his workshop a hive of activity, the air thick with the scent of burning filaments and the hum of determination. Finally, in 1879, after countless experiments, Edison finds his answer in a carbonized bamboo filament. It glows for over 1,200 hours, a triumph of persistence and ingenuity. The first practical light bulb is born, and with it the dawn of a new era. But Edison's journey is not just about the bulb itself. It is about creating a system to bring light to the world. He designs generators, power lines, and sockets, laying the groundwork for the electrical grid we know today. What drove him to push beyond the bulb, to envision a world connected by light? The glow of progress. The impact of the light bulb is immediate and profound. In 1882, Edison's company illuminates the streets of New York City, and the world marvels at the sight: rows of glowing bulbs casting a steady golden light, banishing the shadows. Homes, once dim and quiet after dark, come alive with the flick of a switch. Factories can run through the night, their machines humming under the steady gaze of electric light. Theaters and shops stay open later, their windows aglow, inviting the world to linger a little longer. But the light bulb's influence reaches far beyond convenience. It reshapes the very rhythm of life. The boundary between day and night blurs, and the world begins to move faster. People work longer hours, cities pulse with energy around the clock, and the pace of progress accelerates. The light bulb becomes a symbol of modernity, a beacon of human achievement. Yet it also raises questions. How would this newfound light change the way we live, work, and dream? And what shadows would it cast in its wake? A legacy of light. The light bulb's journey did not end with Edison. Other inventors, like Joseph Swan in England, had been working on similar designs, and their contributions helped refine the technology. Swan's bulbs, with their carbon filaments, were used in homes and public spaces, and eventually the two inventors joined forces, merging their companies to spread light across the globe. The light bulb became a collaborative triumph, a reminder that innovation often blooms from many hands. Today, the light bulb has evolved far beyond Edison's wildest dreams. From incandescent to fluorescent to LED, it has grown brighter, more efficient, and more sustainable. Yet its essence remains the same, a simple device that banishes the dark and brings us together. It is a testament to human ingenuity, a spark that lit the world and continues to shine in every corner of our lives. As you drift closer to sleep, let your mind wander through the history of the light bulb. Imagine the first homes glowing with its light, the streets awakening under its steady gaze, and the countless lives it has touched. The light bulb was not just an invention, it was a gift, a way to see the world anew, even in the darkest hours. But the story does not end here. What new wonders will emerge from the light Edison kindled? What other inventions will shape the chapters yet to come? Rest now and let the glow of the past guide you into dreams of the future. Penicillin, the miracle drug that saved millions. Imagine a world where a simple cut could turn deadly, where infections spread unchecked, and the smallest illness might claim a life. This was the world before antibiotics, a world where medicine fought a losing battle against bacteria, and hope was often the only remedy. But in the quiet corners of laboratories and the minds of scientists, a revolution was stirring, a discovery that would change the face of medicine forever. This is the story of penicillin, the first antibiotic, a marvel of science that would save millions of lives and usher in a new era of healing. How did this humble mold come to change the course of history? And what secrets did it whisper to the world it saved? A world in need of healing. Let us drift back to the early 20th century, where the air smells of antiseptic and possibility. In hospitals across the world, doctors wage war against infections with little more than bandages and prayers. Pneumonia, tuberculosis, and sepsis are grim reapers, claiming lives with merciless efficiency. The discovery of antiseptics by Joseph Lister in the 1860s had made surgery safer, but internal infections remained a deadly foe. The world is hungry for a breakthrough, a way to fight bacteria from within. In this world of struggle and hope, a Scottish scientist named Alexander Fleming is working quietly in his laboratory at St. Mary's Hospital in London. It is 1928, and Fleming is studying bacteria, particularly the stubborn staphylococcus that causes boils and infections. His lab is cluttered with petri dishes, each a tiny battlefield where bacteria grow and multiply. But Fleming is not just a scientist. He is a man of curiosity, always watching, always wondering. What would happen if he left his lab for a holiday, only to return to a discovery that would change the world? The accidental miracle. In September 1928, Fleming returns from a 2-week vacation to find his lab in disarray. Among the petri dishes, one catches his eye, a dish where a mold has grown, surrounded by a clear ring where the bacteria have vanished. It is as if the mold has declared a no man's land, a zone where bacteria cannot survive. Fleming is intrigued. He identifies the mold as Penicillium notatum, a common fungus, but its effect is anything but ordinary. He names the mysterious substance it produces penicillin and begins to investigate its properties. Fleming's experiments reveal that penicillin can kill a wide range of bacteria without harming human cells. It is a revelation, a glimmer of hope in the fight against infection. But Fleming is a cautious man. He struggles to produce penicillin in large quantities, and his attempts to use it on patients are met with mixed results. The world is not yet ready for his discovery, and penicillin remains a laboratory curiosity, a whisper of what might be. What would it take to turn this whisper into a roar? The war that changed everything. The answer comes with the outbreak of World War II. In the 1940s, as soldiers fall on battlefields and infections rage through hospitals, the need for an effective antibiotic becomes desperate. Scientists in Britain and the United States take up Fleming's work, determined to unlock penicillin's potential. Among them are Howard Florey, Ernst Chain, and Norman Heatley, a team of researchers at Oxford University. They refine the process of producing penicillin, turning Fleming's mold into a medicine that can be mass produced. In 1941, their efforts bear fruit. The first patient, a policeman with a severe infection, is treated with penicillin. The results are miraculous. His fever drops, his wounds heal, but the supply runs out, and he succumbs. It is a bittersweet victory, a glimpse of penicillin's power and the urgent need for more. The race is on. With the help of American pharmaceutical companies, production ramps up, and by 1944, penicillin is saving lives on the battlefields of Europe. It becomes known as the miracle drug, a lifeline for soldiers and civilians alike. But what would this newfound power mean for the future of medicine? A legacy of life. Penicillin's impact is immediate and profound. Infections that once spelled death are now treatable, and the world of medicine is transformed. The discovery opens the door to a new class of drugs, antibiotics, that will save countless lives. Diseases like syphilis, meningitis, and tuberculosis, once feared, are brought to heal. The average lifespan increases, and the world breathes a little easier. But penicillin's story is not without its shadows. The overuse of antibiotics leads to resistance, a new challenge for science to overcome. Fleming himself warned of this danger, urging caution in the use of his discovery. The miracle drug is not invincible, but its legacy endures. It is a testament to the power of curiosity, persistence, and collaboration, a reminder that even the smallest discovery can change the world. As you drift closer to sleep, let your mind wander through the history of penicillin. Imagine the lives it saved, the families it reunited, the futures it made possible. Penicillin was not just a drug, it was a gift, a way to heal the world, one life at a time. But the story does not end here. What new wonders will emerge from the seeds Fleming planted? What other inventions will shape the chapters yet to come? Rest now, and let the whispers of the past guide you into dreams of the future. The Internet, the network that connected the world. Picture, if you will, a world on the brink of uncertainty. It's the height of the Cold War, and the specter of nuclear conflict looms large over the horizon. In this tense atmosphere, the United States Department of Defense seeks a way to ensure that communication could survive even the most catastrophic events. The solution? A decentralized network that could reroute information if parts of it were destroyed. This was the birth of ARPANET, the precursor to the internet we know today. But how did this humble project grow into the vast interconnected web that now spans the globe? And what secrets did it whisper to the winds of progress? A world hungry for connection. Let us drift back to the 1960s, where the air smells of possibility and the hum of computers is just beginning to fill the halls of universities and research labs. In this era of innovation, scientists and engineers are dreaming of a way to connect computers across vast distances, allowing them to share data and resources. The challenge is immense: how to create a network that is both robust and flexible, capable of withstanding not just technical failures, but also the ravages of war. The answer lies in a revolutionary concept called packet switching. Imagine sending a letter not as a single piece of paper, but as a series of small envelopes, each containing a fragment of the message. These envelopes take different paths to their destination, weaving through the network like threads in a tapestry. If one path is blocked, the envelopes find another way, ensuring the message arrives whole. This is the magic of packet switching, a way to break data into packets and send them independently across the network. It is the spark that will ignite the internet's flame, the birth of ARPANET. In 1969, the first seeds of the internet are sown. ARPANET, funded by the U.S. Department of Defense, connects 4 computers at universities and research institutions across the country. The first message sent over this fledgling network is simple: Logan, but it crashes the system after just 2 letters. Yet this humble beginning marks the dawn of a new era. Over the next decade, ARPANET grows, its tendrils reaching more institutions, its capabilities expanding. It becomes a playground for scientists and engineers, a place to experiment, to share ideas, to dream. But ARPANET is just the beginning. As the network grows, so does the need for a common language, a way for different networks to communicate with each other. Enter Vint Cerf and Bob Kahn, 2 visionaries who will become known as the fathers of the Internet. In the 1970s, they developed the Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol, TCP/IP, a set of rules that allows disparate networks to connect and share data. It is the glue that binds the internet together, the foundation upon which the digital world is built. But what would this newfound connection mean for the world beyond the lab, the expansion of the network? As the 1980s dawn, the internet begins to stretch its wings. No longer confined to military and academic circles, it spreads to universities and research institutions around the world. Online communities spring up, their members sharing knowledge, debating ideas, and forging connections across continents. The internet becomes a place of collaboration and creativity, a digital frontier where the rules are still being written. Yet for all its promise, the internet remains a mystery to most. Its text-based interfaces and complex commands are daunting, a barrier to entry for the uninitiated. But in the quiet halls of CERN, a research laboratory in Switzerland, a young scientist named Tim Berners-Lee is dreaming of a better way. He envisions a system where information can be linked and accessed with ease, a web of interconnected pages that anyone can navigate. In 1990, he creates the World Wide Web, a marvel of simplicity and power. With the click of a mouse, the internet opens its doors to the world. How would this newfound accessibility change the course of history? The web that wove the world. The World Wide Web is a revelation. Suddenly, the internet is no longer a labyrinth of code, but a vast library of information, a marketplace of ideas, a stage for creativity. Websites bloom like flowers in spring, each one a window into a new world. Businesses set up shop online, artists share their work, and communities form around shared interests. The internet becomes a place where anyone can be a creator, a learner, a voice in the chorus. But the internet's impact reaches far beyond the screen. It reshapes the way we communicate, the way we work, the way we live. Email becomes the new letter, instant messaging the new telephone, and social media the new town square. The world grows smaller, more connected, a web of lives intertwined by invisible threads. Yet with this connection comes complexity. The internet is a double edged sword, a place of both wonder and peril, creation and destruction. What would this brave new world mean for the future of humanity? A legacy of connection. The internet's story is still being written, from its humble beginnings as a military project to its current status as a global phenomenon. It has transformed the world in ways its creators could scarcely have imagined. It has democratized knowledge, empowered voices, and connected hearts across the miles. Yet it has also raised questions about privacy, about truth, about the very nature of human connection. As you drift closer to sleep, let your mind wander through the history of the internet. Imagine the first packets of data racing through the wires, the first websites flickering to life, the countless lives touched by this digital marvel. The internet is not just a network, it is a testament to human ingenuity, a bridge that spans the globe, a whisper of possibility in the silence of the night. But the story does not end here. What new wonders will emerge from the seeds the internet has planted? What other inventions will shape the chapters yet to come? Rest now and let the whispers of the past guide you into dreams of the future. The airplane, the dream that took flight. Imagine, if you will, a world bound to the earth, a world where the sky is a distant dream and the only way to travel is by foot, horse, or ship. For centuries, humans have gazed upward, watching birds soar with envy, longing to break free from the ground's embrace. This is the story of how that longing became reality, a tale of curiosity, failure, and triumph that led to one of humanity's greatest achievements, the airplane. How did we conquer the skies? And what secrets did the winds whisper to those who dared to fly? A dream as old as time. Since ancient times, the dream of flight has stirred the human heart. Legends speak of Icarus, who flew too close to the sun, and of Daedalus, who crafted wings from feathers and wax. In China, kites danced on the breeze, hinting at the possibilities of the air. Yet for all the myths and musings, flight remained elusive, a puzzle waiting for the right mind to solve. In the 15th century, Leonardo da Vinci sketched designs for flying machines, his notebooks filled with wings and propellers inspired by birds and bats. But his ideas, brilliant as they were, stayed on paper, their time not yet come. It wasn't until the 19th century that the dream began to take shape. Sir George Cayley, an English engineer, built the first successful glider, proving that a machine could lift a person into the air. His work laid the foundation, but the skies still beckoned for something more. Powered flight, a way to soar, not just glide. The Wright brothers' journey. In the quiet town of Dayton, Ohio, two brothers, Orville and Wilbur Wright, ran a bicycle shop, but their minds were not on wheels, they were on wings. Fascinated by flight, they devoured books on aerodynamics, studied birds, and built their own gliders. They were not wealthy or famous, just two men with a shared dream and an unyielding curiosity. The Wrights knew that to fly, they needed three things: lift, thrust, and control. Lift to rise, thrust to move forward, and control to steer. They tested their ideas on the sandy dunes of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, where the winds were steady and the landings soft. For years they flew gliders, learning to balance and turn, their bodies becoming one with the machine. But gliders could only glide. They needed power to truly fly. In 1903, the brothers built their first powered aircraft, the Wright Flyer. It was a fragile thing, made of wood and fabric, with a small gasoline engine and two propellers. On December 17th, in the chill of a winter morning, Orville lay prone on the flyer's wing, his hands on the controls. The engine roared, the propellers spun, and with a shudder, the flyer lifted off the ground. It flew for 12 seconds, covering 120 feet, a humble beginning, but a giant leap for humanity. The age of flight had begun. The sky opens wide. The Wright brothers' success was not just a personal victory, it was a spark that lit the world. Within years, airplanes evolved from rickety contraptions to sleek machines. In 1914, the first commercial flight took off, carrying passengers across the skies. By the 1920s, daredevil pilots like Charles Lindbergh crossed oceans, their solo flights capturing the world's imagination. But the airplane's true impact came with its role in connecting the world. Air travels shrank distances, turning days of travel into hours. Cities, once worlds apart, became neighbors, their cultures mingling like never before. The airplane became a symbol of freedom, adventure, and possibility, a way to see the world from above, to touch the clouds and chase the horizon. Yet, like all great inventions, the airplane cast shadows too. In wartime, it became a weapon, raining destruction from the skies. The same wings that carried dreams also carried bombs, a reminder that progress often walks hand in hand with peril. But even in its darkest hours, the airplane's promise endured, a bridge between nations, a messenger of peace when the guns fell silent. A legacy written in the clouds. Today, the airplane is woven into the fabric of our lives. Airports hum with activity, their runways launching dreams and reuniting hearts. Cargo planes carry goods across continents, their bellies full of the world's treasures. And in the quiet moments, we gaze out windows at 30,000 feet, marveling at the patchwork of earth below. The airplane is more than a machine. It is a testament to human ingenuity, a dream made real by those who refused to stay grounded. From the Wright brothers' first flight to the jets that streak across the sky, it carries the spirit of exploration, the whisper of the winds that dared us to fly. As you drift closer to sleep, let your mind soar through the history of flight. Imagine the first wings lifting off the sand, the roar of engines, the world falling away beneath you. The airplane was not just an invention, it was a promise, a way to touch the sky and see the world anew. But the story does not end here. What new wonders will emerge from the dreams of flight? What other inventions will shape the chapters yet to come? Rest now and let the whispers of the past guide you into dreams of the future. Vaccination, the shield that saved humanity. Imagine a world where a single cough could spell doom, where a child's laughter could be silenced by a merciless disease. This was the world before vaccines, a world where smallpox, polio, and other scourges claimed countless lives, leaving families shattered and communities in fear. But in the quiet corners of laboratories and the minds of dreamers, a new hope was stirring, a way to shield humanity from the ravages of disease. This is the story of vaccination, a marvel of science that has saved millions and changed the course of history. How did this humble discovery come to protect the world? And what secrets did it whisper to the winds of progress, a world plagued by disease? Let us drift back to the 18th century, where the air smells of fear and uncertainty. In villages and cities across the globe, smallpox is a relentless killer, its pustules marking the faces of survivors and the graves of the fallen. It is a disease that knows no borders, striking rich and poor alike, leaving a trail of sorrow in its wake. The only defense is variolation, a risky procedure that involves infecting a healthy person with a mild form of smallpox in the hope of building immunity. It is a gamble, and many do not survive. In this world of shadows, a country doctor in England named Edward Jenner is watching, wondering. He has heard tales of milkmaids who, after contracting cowpox, a mild disease from cows, seem immune to smallpox. Could there be a connection? Could cowpox hold the key to defeating this deadly foe? Jenner's curiosity is piqued, and he begins to investigate. What he discovers will change the world forever. The birth of vaccination. In 1796, Jenner decides to test his theory. He takes pus from a cowpox sore on a milkmaid's hand and inoculates a young boy named James Phipps. The boy develops a mild case of cowpox, but recovers quickly. Weeks later, Jenner exposes James to smallpox, and the boy remains healthy. It is a breakthrough, a glimmer of hope in the fight against disease. Jenner calls his method vaccination, from the Latin vacca for cow, and thus the first vaccine is born. Jenner's discovery spreads like wildfire. Doctors across Europe and beyond begin using his technique, and smallpox's grip on the world begins to loosen. But Jenner's work is not without controversy. Some fear the unknown, others doubt the science, but the results speak for themselves. Vaccination becomes a shield, a way to protect the vulnerable and push back the darkness. How did this simple act of observation lead to one of the greatest medical advancements in history? A legacy of protection. Jenner's work inspires others to join the fight. In the 19th century, Louis Pasteur, a French scientist, develops vaccines for rabies and anthrax, building on Jenner's foundation. Pasteur's work unlocks the secrets of immunology, revealing how the body can be taught to fight disease. His discoveries pave the way for a new era of medicine, where prevention becomes as powerful as cure. In the 20th century, the battle against disease reaches new heights. Jonas Salk, an American virologist, creates the polio vaccine, freeing the world from a crippling scourge. Children once confined to iron lungs can now run and play, their futures brightened by a simple shot. And in 1977, after a global vaccination campaign, smallpox is eradicated. A disease that once killed millions is wiped from the earth. It is a triumph of science and collaboration, a testament to what humanity can achieve when it works together. Vaccines become a shield against pandemics, protecting against diseases like measles, tetanus, and influenza. They save millions of lives each year, their impact felt in every corner of the globe. But their story is not without challenges. Misinformation and fear can cast shadows, threatening the progress we've made. Yet the science remains clear. Vaccines are a gift, a way to protect the world, one life at a time. A future forged in hope. The story of vaccination is still being written. Today, scientists work tirelessly to develop new vaccines for emerging diseases, from COVID 19 to Ebola. The lessons of the past guide their efforts, reminding us that curiosity, persistence, and collaboration can conquer even the greatest challenges. Vaccination is more than a medical marvel. It is a testament to human ingenuity and compassion, a reminder that even in the face of fear, we can find hope. As you drift closer to sleep, let your mind wander through the history of vaccines. Imagine the lives saved, the families reunited, the futures made possible. Vaccines are not just a shield, they are a promise, a way to protect the world and light the way to a brighter tomorrow. But the story does not end here. What new wonders will emerge from the seeds Jenner planted? What other inventions will shape the chapters yet to come? Rest now and let the whispers of the past guide you into dreams of the future. The computer, the machine that changed everything. Imagine, if you will, a world where every calculation is done by hand, where data is stored in dusty ledgers, and the pace of progress is bound by the limits of human thought. This was the world before the computer, a world yearning for a tool that could think faster, work harder, and unlock the secrets of the universe. From its humble beginnings as a theoretical concept to its rise as the backbone of modern life, the computer has reshaped our world in ways once unimaginable. This is the story of how a dream of automation became the engine of the digital age. How did this marvel of ingenuity come to be? And what secrets did it whisper to the winds of progress? A world hungry for calculation. Let us drift back to the 19th century, where the air smells of ink and possibility. In this era of invention, mathematicians and engineers are grappling with the tedium of manual calculations. Errors creep into their work, and the demand for precision grows with each scientific breakthrough. It is here, in the quiet halls of academia, that Charles Babbage, an English mathematician, dreams of a machine that can perform any calculation with unerring accuracy. He calls it the analytical engine, a complex web of gears and levers, a vision of what computers could become. But Babbage's dream is ahead of its time, and the technology to build it does not yet exist. Yet Babbage is not alone in his vision. Ada Lovelace, a brilliant mathematician, sees beyond the numbers. She writes the first algorithm for Babbage's machine, imagining a future where computers could do more than calculate. They could create. Her work earns her the title of the world's first computer programmer, a whisper of the digital symphony to come. But the analytical engine remains a blueprint, a promise waiting to be fulfilled. The Turing point. In the 1930s, as the world teeters on the brink of war, a young mathematician named Alan Turing is pondering a different kind of problem. He imagines a theoretical machine that can simulate any algorithm, a universal tool that could solve any computable problem. Turing's machine is not a physical device, but a concept, a foundation for the computers of the future. His work unlocks the secrets of computation, proving that with the right instructions, a machine could perform tasks beyond mere calculation. Turing's ideas are not just theoretical, they are a call to action. As World War II erupts, the need for faster, more powerful calculations becomes urgent. In 1946, the world witnesses the birth of ENIAC, the first electronic general purpose computer. It is a behemoth, filling an entire room with its vacuum tubes and wires, but it marks the dawn of the digital age. ENIAC can perform calculations in seconds that would take humans hours, a glimpse of the power that computers will one day wield. The evolution of the machine. The computer's journey is one of constant transformation. In the 1950s, the invention of the transistor replaces bulky vacuum tubes, making computers smaller, faster, and more reliable. The 1960s bring integrated circuits, packing thousands of transistors onto a single chip. The microprocessor, born in the 1970s, shrinks the computer's brain to the size of a fingernail, paving the way for personal computers. Companies like IBM, Apple, and Microsoft seize the moment, bringing computing into homes and offices. The Apple II, with its colorful screen and user-friendly design, becomes a symbol of the digital revolution. Microsoft's Windows operating system opens the door to a world of software, from word processors to games. The computer is no longer a tool for scientists. It is a companion for creators, learners, and dreamers. The web that connected us all. In the 1990s, the internet weaves its way into the fabric of computing. What began as a military project becomes a global network, connecting computers and people across the world. The World Wide Web, invented by Tim Berners-Lee, turns the internet into a library of information, a marketplace of ideas, a stage for connection. Suddenly, the world is at our fingertips, and the computer is the key that unlocks it all. The rise of smartphones in the 2000s takes computing to new heights. These pocket-sized marvels are more powerful than the computers that sent humans to the moon, their screens a window to endless possibility. Social media, streaming, and artificial intelligence become part of our daily lives, reshaping how we communicate, work, and play. The computer, once a distant dream, is now a constant companion. A future forged in code. The story of the computer is still unfolding. Quantum computing, with its promise of solving problems beyond our current reach, looms on the horizon. Artificial intelligence, once the stuff of science fiction, is now a reality, raising questions about the future of work, creativity, and humanity itself. As we stand on the brink of this new frontier, we must ask ourselves, what will we create with these tools, and how will we ensure they serve the greater good? The computer is more than a machine. It is a testament to human ingenuity, a bridge between the past and the future. From Babbage's dream to the digital devices we hold today, it has transformed our world, a whisper of possibility in the silence of the night. A farewell to our journey. As we close this final chapter on humanity's greatest inventions, we reflect on the wonders we have explored, from the wheel to the computer, each a step toward a brighter tomorrow. These inventions are not just tools, they are the legacy of dreamers, thinkers, and creators who dared to imagine a better world. As you drift into sleep, let their stories linger in your dreams, a reminder that the future is ours to shape. Thank you for joining us on this journey, dear listener. May your nights be peaceful and your dreams filled with the whispers of history. Good night.